Have you ever wanted to make the perfect steak dinner? The one that people remember and want to talk about later, but without juggling 5 pans or losing your mind?
This red wine pan sauce is the secret, and it's easier to make than you might think.
I went ahead and prepared all of our ingredients ahead of time so we can get moving quickly, and I will show you the quantities of each ingredient step by step as we go. We are going to start this recipe with a heavy skillet. I'm going to preheat it to medium-high heat while I prep these steaks. Making these steaks actually started yesterday. I have 2 8-ounce fillets that I seasoned pretty generously with some salt, just enough to get a lot of flavor in there and build a crust, not enough to preserve them for the Oregon Trail. But after I seasoned them, I popped them on a sheet pan lined with a wire rack, and I put them in the refrigerator uncovered overnight. If you want to, you don't have to do this step. However, it's going to get a nice, intense, dry crust on the outside when we cook our steaks. Moisture is the enemy of browning. So by seasoning them the day before, we're really going to give ourselves the best chance for a nice, beautiful crust on the outside. Then when we're ready to cook, we're going to take them out and we're going to season them with your favorite cooking oil. I'm using avocado oil. And then we're going to season all around the steaks with garlic, onion powder, and black pepper, of course. All right, your steaks are looking beautiful. It's time that you put them in the pan. So we're going to do a very light layer of oil, just a slight drizzle because we did already oil the steaks. We're going to get these in the pan, opposite sides. We're going to flip them every 2 to 3 minutes. You're going to keep a close eye on them because if they go too far, there's no turning back. But we're going to cook the top and the bottom, and then we will hit both sides before pulling the steaks out of the skillet. Turn off your skillet and transfer them to the oven on a sheet pan. Now I have my oven set to 375 degrees. I'm going to set my timer for 4 minutes so I can check the internal temperature. You're going to cook until your desired temperature is reached, anywhere from 123 up to 130 degrees.
All right, while our steaks finish coming up to that desired temp of 123, 124, we are going to make our pan sauce. But what I'm going to do first is kind of blot the sides to remove some of the oil out of the pan. We don't want this to be an oily sauce. We are going to use some butter with our vegetables and to finish the sauce, but that's going to give us a glossy feel. I don't want it to be oily, and neither do you.
Now comes the fun part, our red wine reduction. I'm going to start with about a tablespoon of butter in my pan that I turned back on to a medium heat. Then we're going to add all of our aromatics. So that includes a shallot that I cut in half and peeled, 1 clove of garlic, 4 cremini mushrooms. You can do white button also, but 3 or 4 mushrooms is perfect. Then I have a bay leaf, I have 1 sprig of rosemary, and 2 sprigs of thyme. So into the pan, we're going to add all of those vegetables, except for we're going to hold back the bay leaf, and then I have like 8 peppercorns that are going to go in later. What we're going to do is toast up all of these veggies, let them kind of brown a little bit and caramelize, bring out some color. Once we see a little color on everything, we are going to add 1 cup of wine. Use a wine that you like. I will talk more about that at the end of the video. We're going to get that into our super hot pan, let it bubble for at least 2 to 3 minutes. Stir everything and scrape up the brown bits off the bottom of the pan. This is where our flavor powerhouse begins. Now you can add in that bay leaf and just a sprinkle of peppercorns. As the sauce reduces, you're going to watch it change color. Your shallots are going to pull up the color. It looks so good and smells so good already. Now, after it's cooked for maybe another 3 minutes, you can add a cup of good quality beef stock. This is going to be the rest of the base and the volume of our sauce. After that beef stock has been added and the sauce has cooked for an additional 10 minutes, it's time to remove the aromatics. You can do this one of 2 ways. You can either use tongs like I'm doing and just pick out each piece because they're pretty big, minus the peppercorns, but we'll get those out also. Or you can pour the sauce through a strainer. Honestly, I don't really love pouring a hot sauce through a strainer because we do have to finish it a little bit further on the stove. You can do it either way. Once we take everything out and get it discarded, we're going to continue to reduce the sauce until it's come down to about a half a cup. This is actually the home stretch now. So we're going to turn off the heat and we're going to add in about 1.5 tablespoons of butter in 2 separate increments. So I'm going to add a little dollop. I'm going to stir it in until it is completely combined with the sauce. And then I will do the second part, stir that in, And this is going to do two things. It's going to cool the sauce down a little bit, which is going to help it tighten up. And it's also going to give us that smooth, silky finish that only butter can do.
Beautiful. So we're going to do, our sauce has finished reducing. It's holding onto the back of our spoon. Looks good. Smells good. The salt is good. We got a little bit of pepper. Let's put this together. It's like syrup.
I'm just going to use a little serving bowl to help myself out, but we're going to get this off of the stove into a dish, and then I'm going to show you what else I made to go with this steak dinner. Whenever I am going for fancy but easy, I like to make some asparagus. So I cut off the ends, popped them onto a sheet pan, drizzled with my avocado oil and seasoned with salt, garlic powder and pepper. Then I popped them in the oven, cooked them at 375 and for about 8 minutes. So they come out crisp but tender. Whenever I make steak, I always feel like the moment of truth is when I cut into it to see how I did. This is perfect. I'm super excited about the temperature. So they ended up getting up to a temperature of about 126 degrees when I pulled them off, and then I let them just hang out while I finished my sauce and everything else, but they're pretty perfect. For serving, kind of restaurant style, I'm starting with a little layer of our red wine reduction on the bottom of the plate, and then we are going to lay our sliced filet mignon on top. I do think that when you slice your filet that you go ahead and keep the bites kind of thick. Then we're going to serve it up with some mashed potatoes. I made these when you weren't looking because I know you already know how to make mashed potatoes. Then we're going to get our asparagus on the plate, and we are going to finish with some more red wine reduction over the top. Now you can pour yourself a glass of wine and have a super special date night dinner at home.
I cannot wait to take a bite of this, but I have 3 things to tell you real quick. First and foremost, what kind of wine do we use for this sauce recipe? We use something that has a really good body and really nice flavor that will be great intensified. So I like a Merlot, a Cab, or a blend. Now, I found this one at Costco. It's super affordable and nice to use for a sauce because it's not crazy expensive, but it is good enough to want to drink a glass of it with your dinner, which is super important because we're not just, because we want to make it a meal, right? We're going to make the whole thing special and make it a meal. Next up, other cuts of beef that you can pour this sauce over and enjoy. Flank steak is a really good option, especially if you're having multiple people over and this is like a birthday dinner or a dinner party with friends. Double or triple the recipe on the recipe card at fancyaproncookie.com. You can slide that that recipe gauge to increase the servings, and it'll do the math for you on how much you need of everything. Other recipe modifications. If you don't do mushrooms, leave them out. It's not going to be the end of the world. What's important is a good quality beef stock, a wine that you enjoy, and then a few aromatics like the herbs, like the garlic. So if you want to get rid of one thing, not a big deal. Last up, I want to thank out Mimi. Mimi, thank you for hyping my last video and commenting and letting me know. That means the world to me, and that's why I love doing this so much, is to hear from whoever's watching. So if you decide to hype the video, make sure you comment so that I can respond and say thank you. So we obviously never finish a video without taking a bite. Yum. I will say I'm pretty happy with how the beef came out. It's exactly the right temperature that I like. I could have stopped the sauce a smidge earlier because it tightened up plenty. The flavor is nice and intense. But just so you know, when you make the sauce, go ahead and pull it just a little bit before you think it's necessary. So this is the kind of thing that I like to order when I go to a steakhouse. My number one priority is what kind of sauce is going to come with this steak, or what can I add to the steak to make it even better. There's a lot of steakhouses that make a lot of great steaks, but I feel like it's the extras that set them apart. Last couple things Here is a QR code if you want to go to my page and subscribe to my email. That will send all of my new recipes straight to your inbox. And when there's new videos, we'll send those there too. Or you can just subscribe to the channel and never miss a video. We can keep cooking together and making really great meals for special occasions, because that's what I'm here for. Okay, bye.